Did you know that the term pedagogy comes from the Greek word for leading a child? But in cinema, that leadership often takes a dark, illicit turn into the forbidden. While the classroom is supposed to be a sanctuary of learning, filmmakers have long used the teacher-student dynamic to explore the dangerous intersection of power, obsession, and the loss of innocence. These 10 films pull back the curtain on the most controversial desk-side romances, where the final lesson is often a life-altering tragedy. Number 1. Notes on a Scandal, 2006. A reckless affair between a teacher and her 15-year-old student becomes a weapon in the hands of a lonely, predatory colleague. Sheba Hart is a vibrant, idealistic art teacher who makes the catastrophic mistake of starting an illicit relationship with a student. She thinks her secret is safe, but she's being watched by Barbara, a veteran teacher with a cold, calculating heart. Barbara doesn't report the crime. Instead, she uses the information to blackmail Sheba into a suffocating psychological prison of friendship. It's a chilling look at how one lapse in judgment can lead to a total loss of freedom. As the secret unravels, the film transforms into a high-stakes thriller where the classroom becomes a courtroom and the teacher becomes the hunted. It's an unflinching study of obsession where everyone involved is both a victim and a predator. Number 2. Election, 1999. A high school teacher's grudge against a high-achieving student stems from a past scandal that destroyed his best friend. While this cult classic centers on a suburban student council election, the true catalyst is a ghost from the past, a teacher who was fired for having a torrid affair with the hyper-ambitious Tracy Flick. Jim McAllister, played by Matthew Broderick, cannot stand Tracy because she represents the downfall of his peer. As he tries to sabotage her campaign, the film exposes the messy, hypocritical morality lurking in school hallways. It's a sharp satire that proves the power struggle between teacher and student doesn't end when the bell rings. The movie dives deep into the resentment that builds when an adult realizes that a student's ambition can be far more dangerous than any textbook. Number 3. The Reader, 2008. A teenage boy in post-war Germany begins an affair with an older woman, only to discover her dark secret years later in a courtroom. When 15-year-old Michael falls ill on the street, he is helped by Hannah, a woman twice his age. Their subsequent relationship is built on a strange ritual: sex followed by Michael reading great literature to her. This isn't just a coming-of-age story, it's a moral labyrinth. Decades later, as a law student, Michael watches in horror as Hannah is put on trial for Nazi war crimes. He realizes that the woman he loved was a monster, yet he holds the one secret that could save her or condemn her. It's a devastating look at the weight of the past and the complicated nature of guilt when your first love turns out to be a villain of history. Number 4. Blue is the Warmest Color, 2013. The Hook. A high school girl's life is transformed when she falls for an older fine arts student who becomes her emotional and intellectual mentor. This French masterpiece follows Adele, a teenager who feels out of place until she meets Emma, a blue-haired art student. While Emma isn't a classroom teacher, she assumes the role of an intellectual mentor, introducing Adele to philosophy, art, and a world of passion that her high school peers can't begin to grasp. Their relationship is a raw, visceral journey of self-discovery that eventually collapses under the weight of class differences and emotional betrayal. It's a powerful exploration of how a mentor can build you up and then completely dismantle your world. The film captures the intensity of a first educational love that defines every relationship that follows. Number 5. Palo Alto, 2013. A shy high school girl finds herself caught in a predatory romance with her charming soccer coach. Based on James Franco's short stories, this film captures the hazy, confusing atmosphere of suburban youth. April is a shy girl who feels invisible until her soccer coach, Mr. B, starts paying her special attention. What she thinks is a special connection is actually a textbook case of grooming and exploitation. The film stays away from melodrama, instead focusing on the quiet, unsettling way an adult in a position of power can manipulate a teenager's need for validation. It's a haunting portrayal of a romance that is actually a slow-motion crime, leaving the audience with a lingering sense of unease as the boundaries are methodically crossed. Number 6. A Teacher, 2013. A young high school teacher becomes increasingly obsessed with her student, leading to a total, public unraveling of her life. Unlike films that romanticize the teacher-student dynamic, This indie drama focuses on the teacher's mental instability. Diana is a popular teacher who begins an affair with Eric, one of her students, but the relationship quickly turns into a destructive addiction. As her obsession grows, her professional and personal boundaries vanish, leading to a frantic, desperate attempt to keep the secret alive. The film serves as a cautionary tale about the psychological cost of crossing the line, showing that the glamour of a forbidden affair is often just a mask for a deep, spiraling void. It's an intense, claustrophobic look at a woman watching her own life burn to the ground. Number 7. To Sir, with Love, 1967. A platonic but emotionally charged romance of respect between an idealistic teacher and his rebellious students. In the tough East End of London, Mark Thackeray takes a job teaching a class of unruly, undisciplined teens. While the film is primarily about mutual respect, it poignantly explores the deep romantic crush a female student, Pamela, develops for her teacher. It highlights the often ignored reality of the classroom, that for a teenager, a positive adult role model can easily be mistaken for a soulmate. Thackeray must navigate these waters with grace and firm boundaries, turning a potential scandal into a lesson about dignity. It's a classic that examines the crush dynamic with a level of maturity and restraint rarely seen in modern cinema. Number 8. My Tutor, 1983. A classic 80s comedy drama where a high school student is tutored in much more than just his French lessons. This film represents the lighter, glamorized 80s take on the older woman, younger man trope. Bobby is a wealthy student struggling to pass his exams until his parents hire a beautiful, sophisticated tutor for the summer. What follows is a sun-drenched romance that challenges Bobby to grow up faster than he ever expected. While it leans into the fantasy aspect of the dynamic, it also touches on the fleeting nature of summer flings and the realization that some lessons can't be learned in a classroom. It's a nostalgic trip back to an era where the teacher-student romance was often treated as a harmless rite of passage rather than a social taboo. Number 9. Wild Things, 1998. A guidance counselor is accused of rape by two students, sparking a twisted web of insurance fraud and murder. In this swampy, neo-noir thriller, a high school guidance counselor is targeted by two wealthy students who claim he assaulted them. However, nothing is as it seems. The romance and the accusations are merely decoys for a much larger, much more sinister plot involving millions of dollars. It's a trashy chic masterpiece where the teacher-student dynamic is used as a weapon of mass destruction. Every time you think you know who is in control, the film pulls the rug out from under you. It's the ultimate example of how the forbidden nature of a teacher-student connection can be manipulated for the darkest possible purposes. Number 10. Wonder Boys, 2000. A professor struggling with writer's block finds himself entangled with a gifted student and a complicated social circle. Grady Tripp is a professor who can't finish his second novel and whose personal life is a disaster. While his main affair is with the university chancellor, he must also navigate the intense, almost romantic intellectual infatuation of his students. One student in particular is clearly in love with him, creating a tension that mirrors his own professional stagnation. The film explores the ego of the teacher, the way professors often feed off the admiration of their students to compensate for their own failures. It's a witty, atmospheric look at the blurred lines between academic mentorship and emotional dependency in a college setting. Which of these classroom scandals left you the most shocked? If you're fascinated by the films that push the boundaries of morality and ethics, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more curated movie deep dives. We'll see you in the next one.